Hello? Hmm. Hello. Hello. Godzilla's in the background. Um, I might work on this a little bit. Not too much. I don't know. I want to add a little bit of shading and stuff. We'll see what happens. But I don't think this is the right file. Maybe it is. Mm, yeah. Wait, post some music. from watching it. You watch this.
It's a 33-year-old case that eventually a comic book publisher murdered in cold blood. It's a 33-year-old case that eventually went cold. But San Diego police haven't forgotten about Todd Loren. New at 11 o'clock, our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo spoke with detectives about the case and their hope to catch the killer.
A lot can change in a neighborhood over the years. People move away, others move in, and some never leave.
So this would have been a place that he probably walked to and from.
Yeah. But in the heart of Hillcrest on 5th Avenue, there's a building that looks as if no time has passed at all.
And it looks the same. Like even the railing, I don't think the railing's changed.
So many questions.
Yeah, so it puts a lot of...
It was June 18th, 1992, when this complex turned into a crime scene. Around mid-afternoon, a father doing a welfare check found his son murdered in his bed.
The father and the son are in a business together. They own a comic book publication business. And when the son didn't report for work this morning, then the father began calling the apartment. When he got no response, then he came over to the apartment to check on his welfare. The apartment was locked up, so he got a locksmith to open up the apartment, and that's when he found his son inside.
Apply rock rules.
The man killed was 32-year-old Todd Loren. ABC 10 News had interviewed Loren at his business 5 years before he was killed. He was a well-known comic book publisher, popular for his comedic parodies and biographies of rock groups and celebrities.
Todd was actually found in his bedroom on his bed, and he had been stabbed multiple times.
Detective Tracy Barr is on the cold case unit at the San Diego Police Department. Back in '92, detectives followed any and all leads, but days turned into months, months into years, years into decades, and the case eventually went cold.
Over time, people think we don't care anymore or their loved one's forgotten. That's never the case. We don't let these cases go.
As detectives investigated Loren's murder, they realized that his car was missing from this exact garage. It was found a day later in San Francisco.
At the time, the stolen car led detectives to a man who was eventually arrested for having the car. His fingerprints were found inside, but he denied being involved in the murder, instead telling detectives this.
He's just standing on the sidewalk and some random white guy shows up in this car, tosses him the keys and says, "Hey, it's a rental car. Keep it for a couple days. And, I got a plane to catch." And then he takes off.
Loren's murder also linked at one point to Andrew Cunanan, the infamous serial killer who went on a murder spree in the summer of '97. Cunanan's last victim, Gianni Versace, killed at his mansion in Miami Beach. Detectives, however, never found any connection between Cunanan and Loren.
His name will pop up. And I don't know if it was just because of the time. It was such a big news story and everyone was kind of focused on this. So anytime there was a murder of maybe a gay male, they automatically kind of associate it.
But 33 years later, still no answers for a family whose lives were derailed by a killer.
As far as I knew, it had gone cold, and there had been no follow-ups on it for decades.
That's Steve Shapiro, Todd Lauren's brother. Their father passed away several years ago without ever knowing who killed his son.
He took it really hard, and he was never quite the same. And, that kind of affected, everybody.
Their mother is still alive, and she still hopes for answers. She's in her 90s. Shapiro says as time passed, his family tried to move on, never forgetting about Todd, though, hoping one day someone would talk.
You would think that someone somewhere would have talked to someone, and just maybe being in the news, someone would say, oh yeah, I remember that.
But the San Diego Police Department never forgot about Todd, and detectives hope another look at this case, a new tip, or even a forgotten memory from someone in this neighborhood will lead them to Todd's killer.
He didn't deserve this. He deserved better.
Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
This is all that was left of the helicopter after the pilot made a series of fatal mistakes and crashed. The NTSB just issued the preliminary report on UPS Flight 2976, including shocking images and details about how this happened. And that's why today I'm going to explain what you need to know from this report and also everything that the NTSB isn't saying about this terrible tragedy. I'm Hoover and welcome to your pilot debrief. On November 4th, around 17:14 Eastern Standard Time, UPS Flight 2976, a Boeing MD-11 aircraft, was destroyed after it crashed shortly after takeoff from runway 17 right at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Unfortunately, 3 crew members on board the plane and 11 people on the ground were fatally injured. According to the report, UPS Flight 2976 received their takeoff clearance from the tower around 17:11 Eastern Time, and the flight crew acknowledged the takeoff clearance. We also know from the earlier press conferences that the NTSB has listened to the cockpit voice recorder, and they've confirmed that the pilots completed all of their standard checklist and briefings in preparation for the flight, and everything was pretty much uneventful until the airplane rotated for takeoff. That being said, the NTSB has not released the transcript from the cockpit voice recorder, and they didn't mention any of those details in the preliminary report. However, what they did include were shocking images from the takeoff. The first image shows the aircraft just beginning to rotate, so at this point the crew is committed to taking off, and they probably assumed that this was going to be just another routine flight. Tragically, in the second image, you can see the left engine, which is the #1 engine separating from the aircraft, and it's rotating up to depart over the top of the left wing, which is exactly what these engines are designed to do if they break off. The third picture shows what the NTSB described as a fire igniting on the left engine while it's in the air, and you can also see in this next image that a fire has also ignited near the area of the left pylon attachment to the wing. Now, the report goes on to say that the left engine traversed above the fuselage, which is just crazy, and you can see the engine as it's starting to fall towards the ground in this photo. I also want to point out that it appears that the aircraft is starting to yaw to the left because of the loss of thrust on the left side, but the NTSB didn't specifically mention this in the report, and they also didn't provide a timestamp for these images. Either way, all of this probably happened in less than a few seconds, giving the pilots little to no time to react. And the thing that you have to keep in mind is that the pilots can't physically see the engines from where they're sitting at in the cockpit. And it's not clear what kind of indications they got when all of this happened, but what we do know is that a repeating bell started 37 seconds after takeoff thrust was applied, so most likely that was around the time they started rotating and the engine and the pylon separated from the aircraft. This next image shows the aircraft just a few feet above the ground with a huge fire on the left side near the pylon attachment to the wing, and that fire is going to continue until the aircraft crashed about 25 seconds later. Now, before we talk about what else the NTSB discovered, I think it's worth taking a moment to honor the pilots as well as those on the ground that lost their lives in this terrible tragedy. The NTSB verified that Captain Richard Wartenberg was the pilot monitoring for the flight, and he had about 8,600 hours of total flight time with almost 5,000 hours of experience flying the MD-11. Sitting next to him in the right seat was First Officer Lee Truitt, who was the pilot flying the aircraft, and he had about 9,200 hours of total flight time with almost 1,000 hours on the MD-11. Also in the cockpit was Captain Dana Diamond, who was serving as the relief officer for the flight, and he had over 15,000 hours of total flight time, including almost 8,800 hours on the MD-11. So like I've talked about before, this was a highly experienced crew that unfortunately, as you saw from those images, found themselves in a situation where it was impossible to save the aircraft. But the question that everyone is still asking is, how did this happen? And here's what the NTSB has discovered so far. First of all, just to clarify a misspeak that I had in a prior video, the MD-11 involved in this tragedy is a 3-engine wide-body aircraft, and it was first delivered to Thai Airways in 1991 in a passenger configuration, and later converted to a freighter configuration when it was delivered to UPS in 2006. The NTSB also verified that the aircraft was equipped with GE CF6 engines, which have had a history of uncontained engine failures, but all the evidence that the NTSB has collected and analyzed so far has essentially ruled out that possibility, even though the preliminary report didn't specifically say that. Now, originally there was some confusion regarding how high the aircraft was able to climb on takeoff because the ADSB data was suggesting it was 475 feet, which was an MSL altitude, but the NTSB has confirmed from the flight data recorder that the aircraft never got higher than about 30 feet above the ground. However, that's pretty much the only information from the flight data recorder that the NTSB has revealed at this time. Next, we know that the aircraft was able to clear the blast fence beyond the end of the runway, and you can see that in this photo showing that the left wing was still on fire when that happened, and in this next image you can also see where the left main landing gear hit the roof of a warehouse moments before impact. I also want to point out that when it comes to the preliminary report, the NTSB didn't really talk that much about the number 2 or the number 3 engines, and I know there's been some speculation that some of the debris from the left engine could have entered the number 2 engine on the tail, and that might have caused a compressor stall. Now, I'll admit that's certainly possible considering that the left engine went up and over the fuselage in front of the number 2 engine. And what's really important to understand is if that happened, then that's the loss of 2 engines at the most critical moment of the takeoff, which is not something that you're going to be able to recover from. I also heard some speculation that the number 3 engine on the right wing might have had a compressor stall, but I don't think that's likely because the left engine would have fallen behind the right wing. But just to be perfectly clear, the NTSB didn't say anything about compressor stalls or the operation of the number 2 or the number 3 engine in their preliminary report. All we know for certain from the facts is that the aircraft struggled to climb, and when the left main gear hit the roof of the warehouse, there wasn't anything they could do to save the aircraft, and it continued rolling to the left until impact. Now, one of the things that I thought was interesting about...
Be right back real quick. I'm just gonna grab a snack really fast. I'm gonna go to Donkey Kong.
You choose her or not choose wrong. With a skipper hop. She's one cool calm. Her DK. Donkey Kong. He has no style. He has no grace. This Kong has a funny face. He can handstand when he needs to and stretch his arms out just for you. Inflate himself just like a balloon. This crazy Kong just digs his tune. DK. Donkey Kong. DK. Donkey Kong. DK. Donkey Kong is here. He's back again and about time too. And this time, he's in the mood. He can fly real high with his jetpack on. With his pistols out. He's one tough Kong. He'll make you smile when he plays his tune. But gremlins beware, cause he's after you. DK, Donkey Kong, finally, he's here for you. It's the last member of the DK crew. This Kong's so strong, it isn't funny. Can make a gremlin cry out for mommy. Can pick up a boulder with relative ease. Makes crushing rocks seem such a breeze. He may move slow, he can't jump high, but this Kong's one hell of a guy.
Come on, Cranky, take it to the bridge.
Walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes.
I'm back.
The preliminary report, though, is that the NTSB mentioned the tragedy involving American Airlines Flight 191, which was a DC-10 that crashed on takeoff out of Chicago. That event would turn out to be the deadliest aviation accident in U.S. history. I made a full video explaining that recently that you can check out on my channel. However, as far as I can tell, the only reason the NTSB mentioned this in the report is just to show that it was a similar event in the sense that the left engine separated from the aircraft during the takeoff. Regardless, going back to the current tragedy with UPS 2976, here's what the NTSB has discovered so far. First of all, you need to know that the left and right engines are attached to the underside of pylons that are in turn attached to the underside of each wing. Now that pylon essentially has three connection points. You've got a forward mount bulkhead, a thrust link assembly, and an aft mount bulkhead. However, the focus right now is primarily on the aft mount bulkhead. And I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible, but some of these details are really important to understand. This is an image of the pylon aft mount bulkhead, and this assembly has two fittings that are bolted together consisting of an aft lug and a forward lug that house a spherical bearing. Then there's also a wing clevis, which is what connects to the pylon aft mount via some attachment hardware. Here's a picture of this assembly on another aircraft showing you the aft and forward lugs are connected to the wing clevis, and that's one of the connection points of the pylon to the wing. According to the report, the forward and aft lugs were found fractured near their 2 o'clock and 9 o'clock positions, which are the inboard and the outboard side of the lugs. And to be clear, those were found near the runway. The left wing clevis and the spherical bearing, as well as the attachment hardware, along with a portion of the left wing, were located near the crash site. Now, when it comes to the right engine, it was still attached to the right wing pylon, and it was found at the accident site. And even though the right wing forward and aft mounts had separated from the pylon, they were found about 87 feet away from the right engine, implying that the separation was caused by the impact rather than something else. Going back to the left pylon, this image shows you what it looked like after the NTSB recovered it, and you can see the forward and the aft lugs clearly fractured on the inboard and outboard side, just like the report talked about. This picture on the left shows you the left wing clevis, and you can see the fractured spherical bearing inside of it compared to the image on the right, which shows you an undamaged spherical bearing, just so you can see what that looks like. All that being said, here's where things start to really get interesting, because remember, the NTSB originally issued an emergency airworthiness directive grounding all MD-11s. And then not long after that, they came out and grounded all DC-10s as well until further inspections were completed, but now we know the reason for that. You see, here's a much better image of the aft and forward lugs from UPS 2976, along with the clevis and spherical bearing. And what the NTSB discovered was that after they cleaned the surfaces, they found evidence of fatigue cracks. On the aft lug, they found a fatigue crack on both the inboard and outboard surfaces, and when it comes to the forward lug's inboard surface, they found fatigue cracks along the lug bore, but no evidence of fatigue cracking on the outboard surface. Now, I realize a lot of that might sound confusing, so to try to simplify things, basically what they're talking about is that there were some fatigue cracks on those lugs, and over time, that became an issue to the point where when the pilots went to rotate on takeoff, the stress from that rotation essentially caused those lugs to fracture, and that's what caused the pylon and the engine to separate from the wing. Regardless, the question is, why was there fatigue cracks? And what we know from the maintenance history of the aircraft is that at the time of the accident, the airframe had accumulated about 93,000 hours of flight time and just over 21,000 cycles. and just to clarify, one cycle is one takeoff and landing. The last detailed inspection of the left pylon aft mount took place in October of 2021, and then just recently on October 18th, 2025, there was a lubrication of the pylon thrust links and spherical bearings. However, a special detailed inspection of the left pylon aft mount lugs wasn't due until 29,200 cycles, and the wing clevis support was due at 28,000 cycles. So the NTSB still has a lot of work to do to figure out what caused the fatigue cracking, and there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered about this tragedy. Unfortunately, it might take a while before we get the final report, but in the meantime, we need to avoid speculation and let the NTSB do their job. If you want to find out more about what happened to American Airlines Flight 191, be sure to watch this other video on the screen that I made just recently, and I'll see you on the next debrief.
Hi guys, Artie here, and it seems that King of the Hill will be leaving Adult Swim for the second time on November 22nd, as they are losing the rights to the show and opting to not renew the license. They saw it as more economically viable to acquire newer seasons of Bob's Burgers rather than renewing the license for King of the Hill. In a perfect world, they would have chosen to have both shows, but I guess they only had the budget to pick one or the other. The show will not be departing without fanfare. Adult Swim will be playing fan-favorite episodes of the show for 6 hours a week for the rest of the week until its final airing on November 22nd at 5:30 a.m. to commemorate this beloved Fox series and properly send it off. King of the Hill will still be available to watch on FXX and can be streamed on Hulu. It was an honor having King of the Hill on Adult Swim. It's one of the higher class Fox shows that is up there with Futurama. Before the show made its debut on Adult Swim, it aired in broadcast syndication starting in 2001 until 2019, and also on FX from 2004 until 2008. It then originally aired reruns on Adult Swim from 2009 until 2018 when Comedy Central acquired the exclusive cable rights to the show, only so Adult Swim couldn't have it. They would only air it during late hours of the night or during wee hours of the morning when most people weren't awake to watch it, and then they stopped airing it altogether in 2020. Comedy Central then sat on the rights until they expired in 2021 because they were petty. Fortunately, Adult Swim was able to acquire a portion of the show's cable rights through a 4-year contract, which is set to expire later this week. Also FXX, not the main FX channel, has also had the rights since September 2021 and continues to air it to this day. Some people on social media are saying that King of the Hill didn't get renewed because it rated poorly. However, it actually performed modestly well, just not as high as Bob's Burgers and Family Guy during its peak viewing hours. That's why it really only aired when
Chips are making me thirsty. I gotta get a drink real quick. I'm just gonna go there real fast.
transitioning in and out of Adult Swim for an hour, as it was a milder show like Bob's Burgers, which will be the new Adult Swim transition show for now. I have no doubt in my mind that Futurama, which was also likely acquired through a 4-year contract, will be gone from the schedule by the end of December, given that the show is currently only shown at graveyard slots and is the last show of the night on Saturdays only. It's a shame it bombed in ratings despite being one of the more clever Fox shows. I suppose it's not as mainstream as Family Guy or The Simpsons. The thing that doesn't make sense is that Futurama used to top the ratings chart before it got removed in 2007 the first time, so what changed? On the bright side, Futurama will be the first show of the night on weekdays starting in December to fill in King of the Hill's gap. That way it isn't just Bob's Burgers until 9 p.m., at least for now. Hopefully they give Futurama a well-deserved send-off just like it did in 2007 and how King of the Hill is getting it this upcoming week. Maybe American Dad will finally get some primetime showings again and not just during overnight hours. The rights to American Dad on Adult Swim, TBS, and True TV are set to expire sometime around 2030, and I'm unsure if it'll get renewed, or if they will allow it to lapse. It still airs for 2 hours on weeknights, but only during 1:30 to 3:30 a.m. I wouldn't be surprised if FXX manages to get their hands on it at some point. As for the more recent Fox shows that have enough episodes to warrant syndication such as The Great North, Adult Swim does not have faith in them as the already established shows, especially Family Guy since they are already Hood certified hits, and these newer series are a risky gamble that could bomb. Not to mention, it was announced not too long ago that The Great North had been cancelled after 5 seasons, so even if it was proven worthy for the network, they would not receive any new episodes down the line and would be stuck with the same 97 of them unless it got miraculously revived due to high ratings on reruns like Family Guy did in 2005. You almost never see that happen anymore. The reason why cable TV channels spam the same shows repeatedly with massive marathons is because it pulls in decent numbers. The average viewer coming home after work wants to watch the same thing over and over again because it's what they're used to and it's cozy. Meanwhile, the movie, TV, and animation enthusiasts that want variety like myself aren't even watching cable anymore, so there really isn't an incentive to cater to people with different viewing habits. They're watching their preferred content through streaming sites, video sharing sites, and my personal favorite, other means. I don't agree with how cable TV is managed these days, but it's just the way things are in the current landscape. At the same time, you can counter this by saying there's still plenty of OG Adult Swim fans still watching the channel, and this can be proven with the statistic of Adult Swim's viewership increasing by over 100% across a wide range of demographics back when Checkered Past was introduced. In some cases, better variety and showcasing older and more obscure shows does work, but usually it's temporary and reverted back to the old programming strategy not long after because they're scared it will hurt ratings. I think Checkered Past would have stuck around a bit longer if it wasn't for the fact that 40% of the programming team was laid off earlier this year. I wonder if that's the reason why Adult Swim has pretty much become FXX2 ever since.
Yeah.
It's a real shame what used to be one of the cable channels with the most varied schedules and lineups well into the 2020s is now following suit with what other channels have been already doing for years, by spamming the same shows non-stop.
I hate that.
Throwback and nostalgia channels akin to Boomerang, including ones that are not necessarily animation-centric like MeTV and INSP, can work, but it depends on various factors such as demographics and availability. MeTV Tunes is on OTA. Meanwhile, Boomerang is only on a few cable providers and only on the most expensive tiers on top of that. King of the Hill, you will be missed after airing on Adult Swim for 14 years on and off. When you heard the intro play, you either knew that CN was done for the night or that the real fun was about to begin. Who knows, maybe it'll come back in the future. Perhaps 2032? If Family Guy was able to come back, anything can happen at this point. As for the people saying that Adult Swim should pick up season 14 of King of the Hill, even though I want them to, God, I can't even imagine how expensive it would be if they attempted to get the rights to air season 14, which dropped on Hulu last summer. You know how Disney is. It's not happening. It'll probably air on FXX in a few years on TV, if ever, because apparently streaming should be the de facto replacement to TV rather than being complementary to it. It's a shocker that Futurama was able to have new episodes premiere on FXX back in September instead of having it forever exclusive to streaming. The only thing that didn't make sense about the Hulu era episodes premiering on FXX is that they started from production season 10 instead of beginning it from season 8, which hasn't aired on TV yet, confusing viewers who may have not watched it on Hulu back in 2023. Some people have told me that they'll eventually get around to seasons 8 and 9 and not skip them entirely, but I'm skeptical given the treatment of solar opposites. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, notify, and check out other videos on the channel. You may like them. How do you feel about Adult Swim choosing to acquire the 3 latest seasons of Bob's Burgers instead of renewing the rights to King of the Hill? Let me know in the comments.
On the night of September 7th, 2024, Rome police in Georgia clocked a black Dodge Charger speeding over 100 miles per hour. The vehicle, a red-eye edition, a high-horsepower variant of the Hellcat, vanished after officers initiated a pursuit, which was quickly called off due to the extreme danger. Moments later, farther down Turner McCall Boulevard, another deputy discovered the same Charger crashed into a hillside after a head-on collision with another car. What followed was a tragic scene that would spark national outrage and political controversy.
Yeah. That. It's on fire. Hey, stop right there! Stop right there! Dispatch, this black vehicle is on fire. It's in the grass between the park and Turner McCall.
Yeah, bro. Man.
Turn around.
Where's the driver of the Hellcat?
They're still in there. He's probably still in there. I don't know. And there's one sitting right there. But he was the one flying.
Dispatch, we're 1095 with the driver.
Hey!
On the driver's side, he's moving. I mean the passenger.
Alright. A2 dispatch, do you have EMS coming 1018?
I will get the fire department.
You do? Okay,
Yes.
help me.
10-4, they hit a vehicle head on.
Okay, they're bleeding. They're bleeding right there. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and get fire units en route.
A2 dispatch, we're gonna have massive injuries in this vehicle he hit. Damn.
I need him in a car.
What do you need me to do?
Still got a pulse right here.
Okay, yes, yes, thank you, Jesus.
Oh.
Hey, and we got a child. We got a child in the back.
Dispatch, I think we have an entrapment in this vehicle that's on fire.
Oh, she looks okay. She looks okay. She's moving.
The lady in the front.
Can you get her out?
No pulse on here.
I don't know how we're going to get to it.
Ain't nobody in that car?
No, there's someone else in the... There is someone else in the car.
arrested him. Be careful. I think there's somebody in there. Hey! Come on. Come over here with us. You're not he's a passenger.
Okay.
Come over here. We need to get away from this car. Come on. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Hey, come on.
A2 dispatch, we have a child in the back seat of this vehicle. I have a pulse on the driver. I do not have a pulse on the passenger. It's going to be the one that was hit head on, not the one on fire, and I'm going to need more than 2 ambulances, probably 3.
Do they have pulses?
She does. He does not right now. This guy's a firefighter.
Come on, buddy. We're going to get you to just come sit down up here, okay?
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah.
Anything hurting?
No.
Can you get the baby out?
I'm getting the baby
Hey,
out there.
hey, I can get her on this side.
Dispatch, the person entrapped in the vehicle on fire has been removed. Hey, just come sit on the curb right here, okay?
Go ahead and get the baby.
It's okay, Levy. It's okay.
Go ahead and just put a whole
Oh
child.
my God.
Go ahead and put a whole child.
The whole car seat, you're saying?
Her leg is probably broken. Maybe.
Oh my God.
All right, can you pull her?
Yes.
Go ahead and
Do you want me to get her out of the car seat?
Pull the seat out.
Okay,
Keep her in
hold
the
on.
seat.
Hold on,
Go
hold on.
ahead and pull out.
It's okay, Lovey. I got you, baby. Yes, she's got a broken leg, but...
Are you hurting anywhere? No? Okay. Was anybody else in the car with you guys? It was just you two? Yeah. Okay.
Lovey? Hey, Lovey? Lovey? Yeah, she's good. She's good. She's okay. She's gonna be okay.
If we've got units available, we need to shut down Turner McCall at Broad Street and then over at Riverside and divert traffic away from this.
She still was buckled. She's properly... Yeah, she's...
Yeah, the baby okay. I see her breathing. Yeah.
God, they're taking so fucking long. She's like, she's breathing on her belly.
Yeah, I got you. They're DRT.
No, God, no.
Hey, sweet girl. She's got an obvious thing.
Okay.
That car had to be doing 100.
Oh, we know.
120 at least.
Someone tried to stop him, and he decided that was the smart thing to do. Hey.
I called it off way over there.
Hey, you're good. Go breathe.
Yeah, they're dead. They're both dead.
Ooh.
They're both dead.
Hey.
Yeah.
Go take a breath, all right? So you just go sit in your car, all right?
I just feel...
Yep. Hey, you know what? We called it off way before. All right, you good?
Way back there.
Yep. It's bad. Is it both in the front seat? Obvious. Yeah, I see.
It's bad. It's really bad.
He's
got a broken
intoxicated. He
arm.
reeks of alcohol. I was just sitting at the red light. He had to be doing 110, 120.
We're going.
Is she okay?
We're going now. If you're not coming with us,
Yeah, no, go. Did you know them?
No.
You don't know them? You just saw it? It's gonna be okay.
Who is that? A family member?
Oh God, man.
I appreciate you being here.
Hey, what's her name? Oh, you know them?
Yeah, that's my friend.
Oh
I
God,
want to
man.
cry too. It's bad.
Oh, how's the baby doing? How's the baby doing?
They're taking her now. I jumped in there and he said, "We're leaving now. If you're not going, get out." Do you need anything? Take a breath.
It's senseless, baby. God, it's senseless. Damn.
My sister's my best friend. Give me the number.
Hey, ma'am, be careful. Don't touch her. Hey, what's your name? What's your name, baby?
Adrian Harry.
How do you spell her name?
You know the gentleman?
If that's her dad's bald head.
Her dad?
Okay, bro.
Asian.
That's Adriana's sister, man.
Hey.
Oh, what the fuck?
Hey! Please do not go up there. Please do not go up there. Okay.
Yeah, my cousin up there. My kid. Who?
Asian.
Oh my God.
Asian.
All right, but hey, we can't have anybody going up there. We have an active crime scene going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay.
Baby's at the hospital.
I know everybody wants to make sure it's not their family, but we can't have everybody going up there. Okay.
Right.
So if you could just please stay down here
We
for
got
us,
you.
that would be very helpful.
We got you.
Thank you so much. If you want to start taping off so we don't have people walking up on us. Where's your car at, sir?
I'm parked right there.
Were you just driving and saw what happened?
Yeah, I'm saying I saw the whole thing. Man, I saw the
You
whole
want to come over
thing,
here and
man.
talk to me for just a minute, please?
Oh God.
I know.
Is her baby okay for real?
We don't.
I think so. She was breathing. She was actually looking around at first. We got her out. She did have an injury to her leg, but I think the baby will be fine. I'm not medical.
But she been a lot of help. I just can't.
That baby was properly in her car seat and everything, okay? She
And
was
that's how I know that's Caitlin, because she always makes sure.
Has anybody got you?
I go on a lot of calls. I work at the fire department.
You work for our fire department?
City room, 31 years. And when you see it, man,
You knew?
it's different, man. It's different, man.
Been showing up afterwards?
Huh?
They're just showing up after?
Right.
Yeah.
It's different, man.
What's your first name?
Damn, when you see somebody die, man, God.
Yeah, I know. It's rough.
You guys have some sheets I can have?
You what?
Sheets?
Yeah, you got flat white ones.
Because they got people they know coming out.
So all of a sudden,
That
I
car
don't know
is
if that was a Camaro or
it's
something.
a Charger.
Charger. They were hauling that. He was doing 103. I said, what the f is he doing? And then all of a sudden, so I said, when I fly here on the ground, you can hear the
Where was this car at when you hit it?
It was coming this way. The impact was like right over in here.
About
like,
right, well,
here.
that glass is such.
Where?
So it pushed
So I saw from the Audi
Okay.
side. I saw the boom car, boom.
And then it went down that way. Okay.
That car went that way. That's all. And then I just drove over here,
Okay.
so I can assess the patients.
Why did he do that? This is really bad, Bradley. There's two. I don't know. The baby was hers. He's her father. So it's 3 generations in this car.
I got one eyewitness that saw the entire thing. He reeked of alcohol when he got out of the car. I thought he was going to take off running. I was going to send the dog after him, but he came back. He came back towards me. That car got hit way down there.
Say roughly how old she was?
She was actually looking around. I think she ended up passing out when we tried to get her out of the car. Her leg was out of the car seat and broke. I was just trying to do a traffic stop at first.
She said at least like 100?
Yes. I paced him at about 86, and then I called it off. And then by the time he came here, he's going about 100.
There ain't no VIN plate on this, on the side. We don't know where the tag is, and there's no VIN plate on the door. And I don't want to move too much stuff because we got to do. Oh, never mind. 38 dispatch. Can you run another 28 for me? I don't need any returns.
Young dude?
What's that?
Young guy. Young enough?
Yeah. Drunk.
Kill him?
No, he's fine.
Really?
The other two, and they had a baby. Baby's in the hospital already. Obvious broken bones. Yeah, probably hit that car 100 plus, easy 100 plus miles an hour. Launch that car from where your guys' truck is all the way up there. while it was driving this way.
The guy that went in the ambulance said that, yeah, they'd been drinking, they had just left
There's a
my friend's
broken beer
funeral.
bottle over here. It came out of the car.
He said, yeah, so what, I've been drinking, I just left my friend's funeral.
The driver reeked of alcohol. We got the driver of the vehicle. He also had a friend in the car with him.
What was the friend? Was he still in the car?
We got him out. But
So he was still in the car while it was on fire.
Yeah.
That's why I was telling everybody go check the car.
Yeah,
Because
well,
it was on fire.
I heard someone say that we turned around and I saw the door moving, but he crawled out on the other side when we got up to the
But y'all got the driver.
Yes.
And he was walking off. That's the guy that was walking off.
That was the driver.
You don't make no damn sense.
Did you guys ID him?
I have no idea who he is or anything. I didn't ask.
Did we get any of the family's information? They're going to have to maybe.
They're not family. They just know. They're just friends.
So who all was in the car?
The baby and the two dead people. So the parents for that baby are
The parents are deceased.
They need a family member.
They're just trying to get a hold of any kind of family.
I'll see what I can find. The registered owner of the vehicle is 24 years old. She's a black female.
See if they got a wallet or anything in there?
Yeah, we could. Because of the baby. Yes, please. They're gonna have to cut them out. I think it's just gonna have to wait. I'll go talk to her and see what her relation is. Right here's good.
We have big sisters.
You're her sisters?
Yes.
Who's your sister? I'm sorry.
Hadra Harris.
Okay.
Just show us the
How old's her child?
24. The child?
Yeah.
She just had a baby.
Are you blood relatives?
Yes, we have the same daddy.
I hate to be the one to tell you this.
Just tell us. Just tell
The baby's at the hospital with no family members because we couldn't find a way to get a hold of them. I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but I have to. Your sister is not going to make it out of this.
Is she breathing?
She hasn't been since the accident.
Can we see her, please?
It's an active investigation.
God, she's
I'll-
alive.
I know, there's a lot going on.
Who in the car with her?
We can't tell.
Our daddy is supposed to be on the way.
Your dad is? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I really am.
My dad's on the way. Is he on the way to Steak and Shake? Or is he on his way to the hospital? Well, somebody needs to go to the hospital with the kid. Did she have all the kids?
She just had one.
But, okay, so what happened? I'm not getting mad at you, but what happened? Somebody got to tell us what happened.
There was a car that was driving extremely dangerous and hit them head on.
So is she the only one that's dead?
There's somebody else in the car with her too.
Oh, that's my daddy.
Father, I don't have any good news for you, unfortunately. But the child is at the hospital. If we can get a family member up there at the hospital to be with the child.
All right. Who fault was it?
It was not their fault. Yeah, it wasn't their fault.
Say on that, man.
I saw the whole thing heavy. He was rolling, man.
Were you were with
I was Scott.
you were.
So is he in jail?
We have him.
He's gonna be tried for murder, right?
All right, they're gonna go up to the hospital in a minute.
Hey, you stay over on the sidewalk.
Get back on the sidewalk. I got it.
What's wrong? About nobody like. Look, talk to him, Daddy. Yeah, just talk to him. Daddy, talk to him.
Officer right here. Lamar.
I'll answer any questions I can to the
Man,
best of
man,
my
that
ability.
smart ass mouth motherfucker right there.
I'll answer any questions you got as best as I
He's
can.
just trying to identify.
I was just trying to see if that was a car,
But we
man.
can't have anybody go up there.
I wasn't going over there. I was just going right there to look.
Oh, do you know the baby name?
Mouth.
Tell you the baby name? No, you can't. You have to go to.
Tell that man I'll beat the shit off him right now.
You gotta, Daddy, calm down.
All he wanted to do is just look at the car and see if that was her car, and then it'd been all right. He don't know nothing. Was there another guy in the car too, the baby's daddy?
There's another person in the car, but with the way that everything's all mangled up and how bad the car is, we can't tell who else is in the car. That car is.
You can't even get him out, can you?
No. For who? What's your son's name? Malik. What's Malik's last name? Okay, Malik Henderson.
If we've got one person that can attest to being family members to that baby, I need him to go to the hospital.
The grandfather is that gentleman in the white tank top right there, and then there's two sisters out here as well. What's he upset with now?
He wants to go to jail where the other driver's at. And when I walked over there, he said, I'm not going over there. I said, I don't need you to go over there. I need you to go to the hospital for the baby.
The baby's about to get.
If they can get her, if they can fly, and if they can get her accepted.
If they don't want to go to the hospital.
If she makes it, she's critical. She's super critical.
Oh. Because we can, at that point, we can do emergency tests.
It's not in that car.
Ma'am.
Please help him outside of that car.
Hey, come over here.
Please,
You can't go over there.
I have to.
Hey, ma'am, you can't go over there. But I don't know who else is in the car.
Malik, please. Malik is in the car.
We don't know. We can't tell.
Please. Just please let me just see, please. Y'all gotta let me see if that's my son.
Hey,
Please. No, please.
listen.
Don't do it, please.
You can't. You don't want to either. I promise. No, it's okay. Hey,
Please, y'all,
we
please.
can't let you do it.
Please.
We can't.
Please, just call his name. Just call his name and see if he'll answer. I can't move. I can't leave him in there. I can't let him be in there.
There's nothing you can do right now, okay? I'm sorry.
Please don't let him be believed.
This is not a good day. I started out with that 2-year-old that was burned last night.
Oh, I didn't know the kid was that bad off. It looked bad, but I didn't know how bad.
Who got the kid out?
Jess pulled the car seat out from the car, left the kid in the car seat, and they just put the car seat in the ambulance and took off. That kid's leg was all sideways and janked up, and it looked like the baby was unconscious. And the driver of the vehicle doesn't have a license. It was DUI.
Kid Hispanic?
Yes. You think the baby's gonna make it?
Probably not. I can't tell that for sure.
Looks bad. It looked bad when they left. Yeah.
Somebody said at the hospital that it was her and her father in that.
Her father's
in that
over
deal.
there.
That's what I thought, because that guy's too young to be her father.
It's probably her boyfriend, Malik, I think's what
Malik
they kept.
Henderson. Let me look that up. All right. We've got everybody identified.
They all two of them did.
For them, that car held up better than this one.
Well, I'm saying that's just how things tend to play out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's all the dickheads living.
He's going to kill 3 people and live.
The victims were identified as 23-year-old Kadrian Harris and 23-year-old Malik Henderson. A 1-year-old child, the daughter of the deceased, was airlifted to a children's trauma center in critical condition, but ultimately survived her injuries. The driver of the Charger, later identified as Omar Garcia, was under the influence when he collided with Harris's vehicle. Both Garcia and an unidentified male passenger sustained minor injuries. Garcia was arrested at the scene and charged with 2 counts of vehicular homicide, 1 count of serious injury by vehicle, DUI, driving without a license, fleeing and attempting to elude, reckless driving, and driving too fast for conditions. He was booked into the Floyd County Jail. According to the Floyd County Sheriff's Office, Garcia also had an active hold through U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, a detail that would spark national headlines and political backlash. Ultimately, Garcia pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Years.
How do you put this behind you and move forward? That's something I ask each missing person family, because I don't understand how you can do that.
I can't.
Was David's secret gay lover the person who actually moved the body? I'm not joking, okay? This is a genuine theory that's going around, and there's more evidence for this theory than you might think, okay? I'm keeping it real with you. I've got a lot of evidence that I'm going to show you in this video that makes me think that David might, in my opinion, have been in a gay relationship with Neo. And there might have been a whole lot of reasons why both of them wanted the alleged underage girlfriend of David to disappear. Now, I've got all the links lined up. I'm going to break it all down for you now. There is this crazy post that's currently going around Reddit that's saying, is David bi and could he have been in a gay relationship with Neo? And that might have been what led to the murder of Celeste over jealousy. But before we get to that, okay, I've got to tell you everything that's been going on, because TMZ did post this today, and a lot of people have been distracted by the news that the body was allegedly frozen. They're overlooking this crazy, like, I can't believe what I'm seeing, okay? They've reported, and a lot of people have glossed over this, they're looking at the freezer now, but it's been reported a second suspect has been identified, and it was apparently the last person to use David's Tesla. LAPD homicide detectives have ID'd a second suspect in the death of Celeste Rivas, and it's someone who law enforcement says could be involved before, during, and after her death. Mark Garagos dropped the new info on the latest Two Angry Men podcast after speaking with people directly involved in the case. He said that law enforcement has done a stunningly impressive job connecting the dots in this case using a combination of cell phone and Tesla data along with location data from social media. Geragos and Harvey from TMZ both independently confirmed with sources that a central part of the case is a mysterious trip that David took to a remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night last spring. They had conversations with their sources, and investigators believed that her body might have been in the car, and Geragos insinuates various data showed the second suspect may have also been in the vehicle at that time. Who is this second suspect? Well, people have had a clue about this. People have had their theories about this for over a month. This was a post that came out quite some time ago when the private investigator, Steve Fisher, he said he knows who moved the Tesla with the body in the trunk. He basically inferred, okay, that he knew who it was that was the last person to drive the Tesla. It wasn't David. This was on October the 17th, 2025, over a month ago, okay? This is the second comment, the second top comment. The MF who moved the car right now, sweating. David and that MF. 1 month ago, Neo. All right, and they're cracking jokes here. Not even the Matrix will save him. But people thought a month ago that Neo was the last person who moved this car. And there's comments all over this post that are over a month old saying he has to be alluding to Neo moving the car X a few days ago. He's not the kind of person that made substantiated allegations. It has me questioning Neo as well. Okay? People are saying, this is what Steve tweeted. He said, let's speculate the Tesla was moved the last time and left in the parking spot it was impounded from right before tour started in San Francisco. Who actually moved the Tesla the final time? You don't get answers unless you ask questions. So I'll ask, was it Neo? Just curious. People are saying this Neo character is involved for sure. Also, he said the car was moved before they went on tour. Neo went on tour with David, and that is Neo. All right? And people are saying that there might have been some kind of romantic relationship going on between them. People are hating on Neo. It says, I went through his Instagram. He seems like the most brain-dead F-boy. If it was him, no wonder the whole attempt of disposing of the body was so messy. All right? Everybody's bringing Neo's name up. Comes up comment after comment after comment months ago. Or over a month ago. And this theory, it's been going around a whole bunch. This hasn't just come out of nowhere. People are posting, what's with Neo? Why is everyone mad at him? People are trying to find out. And they're saying, from what the PI's been saying, it looked like he was the last person to move the car, and he would have known she was in there due to the smell. He's pretty much gone lockdown on all socials, and I think he posted something a couple hours ago with a song and some odd stuff. We don't know why he used the song, but it's some bad timing with weird lyrics that can be inferred as him essentially mocking, but more acknowledging everything that's happening. Okay? People suspect Neo because he's known David for years. He's very close to David and overly affectionate with him in photos, especially after February 2025. There's easily 50 examples of the above. Steve made comments about Neo, and Neo's gone silent on social media. So this is an old clip of Neo saying that he's known David for years.
Years now. So, like, people thought that I met him through Sakura, but no, I've known David for years, and I met Sakura like 2 months ago through Tofu. And then my worlds just kind of combined together, and it just was kind of funny.
So, they've known each other for years. So look, let's just get to it, okay? This is a post that's currently going around on the Celeste subreddit. It said, is David bisexual? Him and Neo could have been in a relationship, and maybe he got jealous of Celeste or something, which could have led to her death. I just don't understand how someone else would be so willing to chop up a body unless they had hatred for the girl too. The TMZ article is disturbing. This can't be no, okay, my girlfriend just OD'd and this is a way to cover it up. There's a reason the LAPD is still treating this as a homicide. Even if it wasn't Neo, the other person had to have had hatred and had to be deeply close with David. I get that David could have paid someone off, but David is someone I literally just heard of from this case. He's not some top-tier Diddy-level celebrity. Or probably David and the other suspect killed her together, and they both felt they had to cover it up together. And honestly, this just confirms they knew Celeste was a missing child, because they know they had plenty of time since no one was looking and no one cared. This is exactly why missing children should be deeply prioritized. Killers go for the vulnerable. And people are in the comments, some people are saying it's more likely they both had an obsession with gore and wanted to experiment with it together. People are saying it's truly disturbing, like if they both did, why choose to act on the obsession? Like, did they feel it would be swept under the rug since she was missing? And why is she in the trunk now? At that point, if they ate her, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, people are saying they're asking the wrong question, okay, but this isn't new. This isn't something that's just been made up. A lot of people are saying David, Neo, and Asia seem like they were all together in some kind of relationship. Some people are saying David definitely is bi. He seems depraved as F, and he probably hurt animals as a child. Okay, but there are other things that are going around that seem to hint towards something weird going on between them. This was a post that went around, and this was 16 days ago. Neo and the elephant in the room. He posted this, all right? This is just a little something, all right? This is just a little something on top of all the other stuff. But he said, LMFAO forgot I'm not allowed to make any jokes or do anything remotely gay now. And then he posted this rubber band in the shape of a ding-dong. And he said, they're definitely going to think you're gay for this one, okay? And now, a lot of people were hating on him. They weren't coming at the bisexual angle, but they were saying, how do I make myself the main character in awe of his dissonance? You were in the close circle of a PDF and potential murderer. There are very little crimes more horrendous than this. Ever since Celeste had been identified, this man has continued partying in LA, called the situation nothing, and complained about people calling him gay online. I don't think I met many people with such low levels of empathy. And people have been calling out that Asia girl, saying she's no better, she's a sociopath. Okay, they're saying all of these could have been avoided. He should have made a statement that said, RIP, I'm sorry this happened. I had nothing to do with it. I'm working with the LAPD to bring justice. But it doesn't sound like that's what's happening. Okay? As people who are never involved in hiding a murder, it's almost common sense to us to want to do that. He's saying it because so many people on Facebook and Instagram are saying he and David are actually gay lovers and plan to kill Celeste to be together. He's saying, I would say something too. People are thinking this is absolutely crazy. And it is crazy. David's got comments on posts on Neo's page talking about who else cried / came. Is it a joke? Or is he serious? Or is it the truth said in jest? He's talking about looking at posts that Neo's put up and saying he came. And then Neo's replying saying, I cried and came on you. Is it a funny joke? Is it a funny joke with some truth behind it? Is it a funny joke that goes absolutely to try and distract from maybe something that was really going on, trying to make a little light of something that is actually really going on? I don't know, but I do feel like there's a lot of very strange things like this. People are saying, looks like the cleanup was incomplete. David's comment is still on this guy's page, part of the original crew. He made a statement calling a dead child being found in his friend's car nothing, and he's still partying it up on his IG stories. Does anyone know what this guy does? Looking at his Instagram, it seems like he's just some regular school-aged kid, and I wonder how David got acquainted with them. Okay, so there's a number of kind of pouty pictures of them together, and then there's also this picture that's been going around, right? David and Neo laid out together. They look like they're on the floor with some like cushions laid out, and David's wearing a shirt that says, sounds gay, I'm in. And he's got his hand tucked underneath Neo's waist, all right? And there's nothing wrong. Look, any kind of love, any kind of sexuality is cool with me. But when bodies are being found in trunks and people are suggesting that this might have been the person who moved the car, it's starting to look very suspicious, right? And people are saying that these images are being scrubbed from the internet. Okay, they're scrubbing any pictures that they had together, all of these things. People were saying his entire Twitter account was glazing David, then he deleted all of his David-related tweets. I think he would have made a statement by now. He crashed out on the YBG streamer over smaller things. I personally think he's lawyered up or being investigated. Never asked Neo why he touched you with the girls. Santi OSCS. It's another picture here. Neo with the girl in the background that a lot of people thought was Celeste. Is that David and Celeste in the back? And people are saying this is the other Celeste, Celeste Herrera. And is that David and the real Celeste? Right? Now, there's an interesting comment here, okay, that actually is underneath a post that's basically all about the news about the body being allegedly frozen, okay? And this is an interesting comment that kind of touches on Neo. It says, so with this awful news that she was decapitated and frozen, it tells me that they took their time on deciding what to do with the remains.
What if it was Neon, the streamer?
They eventually forgot about it for the most part, as David probably left it in Neo's capable hands. Again, I believe he is the alpha in all of this. Alpha. About his upcoming tour and concert at Coachella at the time, how should the police proceed from here? My 2 cents, if Neo is only an accomplice after the fact, then they need him to flip and give him a deal. If, however, he actually took part in this from the beginning, some posters here think Neo is politically involved, then it would be difficult for the cops to get a confession, and they will have to put this case together through circumstantial evidence, which will be difficult. Praying for justice for Celeste. So this was the original post 2 months ago that Neo posted after cleansing his socials of any mentions of him or David. He said, I mean, yeah, eventually I'm going to say something, but I kind of hate forcing myself into solitude, because people on the internet assume the worst in people and will make up legit anything out of nothing. He's calling it nothing. So eventually I'll say something when I'm ready to. Love all the real people that have been kind to me and don't make false assumptions. Right? People saying they're wondering how much they know. All right? So he says that people on the internet will legit make anything out of nothing. Nothing. A dead child in his bro's car trunk is nothing. Interesting, if not a sociopathic take on the matter. All right? Salitude. Now, this was a whole month ago. Somebody put together an entire activity timeline of everything that Neo has been involved in, all right? This is Neo's activity timeline. So let's just look at all the stuff where Neo is mentioned. They're saying, after the PI's statements caused some concerns, I thought I'd do a timeline regarding Neo's whereabouts according to his social media profile. I do understand that picture dump style posts consisting of images that are taken over a time period and not necessarily one single day, so I will decrease my focus on such posts. Do also note a lot of his social media is deleted or privated, so I'm going on what I have and what his friends posted, okay? So it says here, 25th of July, Neo was, is this, hang on. All right, so I'll just focus on all the stuff where Neo is kind of mentioned and he's relevant, okay? 25th of July, he was seen partying on David's IG stories, photoed wearing a grey ribbed knit sweater. Then on the 2 days later, he was seen partying on IG wearing David merch with a giant Labubu. 29th of July, David's black Tesla was seen moving for the last time on surveillance by an individual wearing identifiable clothing who immediately went on tour afterwards. The individual was also spotted wearing the same identifiable clothing 12 hours before this, entering David's Vieiro Drive residence. This is suspected to be Neo. David had a show in San Francisco. Nia and Asia were both seen with him. His IG highlights showed him celebrating Tara Yummy's birthday. David is photographed at the same event wearing a bright red shirt, and Neo allegedly is still wearing the red fishnet shirt with 28 on it, and they're basically saying that that was something that he was wearing on the 28th of July. So his little outfits are getting him caught up, right? And David's continuing to play these shows. David's been on tour. 5th of August, tour date in Del Marcio. Neo posted, "We got shut down" on his IG story in the middle of the road. People are unsure if it was at his tour or another unrelated party. Neo hasn't been seen in David's vlogs. Neo's not seen. David's vlogging, he's doing shows, but he's not been seen. And then on the 9th of August, Neo posts himself at a concert in a mosh pit. Okay. Not sure if it's David's show or another unrelated party. He continues posting himself on Instagram on the 10th of August. He's partying in LA on the 16th of August. And then, you know, a little bit of time passes, right? Different people are seen, and eventually the car is found, all right? The car is towed, and he was still seen partying on IG. He's out in LA partying non-stop, partying with influencers non-stop, all through September. The body is found inside David's Tesla on the 8th of September. She's not identified. And on the 13th of September, still partying, right? The body's identified on the 17th. David cancels his tour. He's seen at TwitchCon. Seen partying again. He's partying. He's having a great time. Halloween party. Says, with that, we can see that Neo was consistently hanging out with David before his tour. He was also partying almost daily. We can confirm that Neo was present at David's tour dates in California, but not in other states. He was confirmed to be back in LA by the 10th of August. This means he cannot be completely ruled out as the person who moved the car initially before David went on tour, or moved the car last any time before the 27th of August when David's car was marked. People are asking here, what is Neo's role in David's life? Is he like his media manager, tag along, or just a friend? Do these young folks work? Help me understand this bizarre anime culture. And people are saying he was extremely close to David. If they did work with him, he was probably an honorary title. Another commenter mentioned that Azio was a videographer and photographer, but I didn't find anything in his album credits to support that, and I checked till 2023. Now, some people on Reddit, they believe that Neo actually went back to David's mansion whilst David was still on tour. This was the first show of his tour where he went Hello Kitty on him, and he asked his crowd members to throw Labubus on stage, and he's chilling there with Neo. All right. Swipe image. The first day of tour, David had the digital camera on him. After the California shows, Neo didn't stay for the rest of the tour. A digital camera was found by the private investigator Steve Fisher at the mansion with Celeste's last photo. Neo must have probably went back to the mansion and left the digital camera. Why? Who knows? Speculation. Someone says, I remember watching one of his blogs and Neo was there with a group. Someone asked him if it was his crib, and of course he said, no, this is David's. Maybe he was given the key regularly. It's not like the manager would have one key if he lived out of town. So they're thinking he might have been might have been back inside of the mansion. One theory's going around where they say, my theory, David, Asia, and Neo could have possibly given Celeste drugs to have hushed her because they didn't want her to expose David, and things went left. This is only a theory, but somebody says, this is my theory on what could have happened. If you disagree, that's fine. I'm not stating it's factual. To keep it straight to the point, I feel like the whole group was together. David, Asia, and Neo, and maybe whoever else is in this group, and Celeste was there, and she could have said something or did something that could have made them scared or triggered fear of David being exposed for being in a relationship with a minor. And knowing them, they probably all feel like they have to stick together because they all kiss David's ass. David's the meal ticket. So they could have possibly isolated her or gave her something or a drug to kind of calm her down or relax her to be quiet. She could have possibly OD'd, or things went too far. And instead of David stepping up and helping her, they let her pass away instead of rushing her to the hospital. That's when they covered everything up and put her into his car. I feel like this could have happened between February and April in a sort of private area. North of Los Angeles, perhaps? Then he took that Santa Barbara trip to possibly go meet up with someone, I feel like a male, to get advice on how to handle this situation, or possibly to get rid of her cell phone, drugs, or whatever evidence. I don't know, but I feel like this was one big cover-up. For some reason, I feel like Asia definitely knows the details, because I get the feeling that Asia never liked Celeste. But regardless, investigators should see who he knows in Santa Barbara, and they need to track his movements there. Now, this is another theory that's crazy that's going around. I've seen a few people saying this. It says, I think David killed Celeste and tried to frame Neo and the others. That's why he asked Neo to move the car right before the Now, in his defense, he may say it was them trying to frame him. This is my theory. He could also store the body in the freezer, and right before the tour, he placed it in the trunk. The narrative would be that he did not use the car for months, or that he did let his friends use it. Certain people on the internet were bringing this narrative into circulation. But other people say, I think someone was paid to take care of her body with the machinery found at the house, but the car got towed too soon. The plan was they would all be on tour to have alibis. I think it's a very interesting theory. Now, there's a few cursed images going around of this little trio, Asia, David, and Neo. And this is one that's interesting that got posted yesterday. It says, David states these people are family. Every last one of them have wiped their pages clean of him, and the rest of the pages are private. It says the fam. Asia, David, Neo. I don't know if that's Celeste Herrera, I'm not sure. People are saying, this is the most shallow family I've ever seen. Everybody was quick to saving their own asses once the case got traction. Clowns. And I remember those screenshots shared by one of the Redditors from a sub who got a text saying she's known Asia for a long time and she has no involvement in the case. Plus his friend also added that Asia was not close with David. Well, here it is. The picture clearly shows they were close. Family! The fam! The fam. But he doesn't really, he barely even knows it. Family, dump a body, I barely know him. But no, now they've scrubbed the pages, right? Pages have been scrubbed clean, but it doesn't wipe the past clean, right? People are saying they're all involved or some are. All of them, including David's management or immediate PR team, are cooked, and I think Neo is the main one who did a lot of the dirt. People say, dude, I've been saying this. I think Neo is who the police were referring to when he said they had help dismembering. People forget David is short as F. There's no way he's lugging a body around on his own, let alone moving her. It would also make sense why she is dismembered as well, because David is really short. Neo from the beginning has been acting nervous as hell. If you got anything to be nervous about, or if he ain't got anything to be nervous about, then why is he trembling where he stands? That's not an innocent boy. The photos from the Withered tour before they shut it down, Neo looks so bad, like bags under his eyes. He looks just sick. Maybe he is sick, I don't know, but he's the most definitely involved one. That's what a lot of people are saying. Now, this was a post that Neo made. This was going around the David 2 subreddit 17 days ago. It says, Neo posted for the first time in a while, look at the choice of song. That fuckboy is either tone deaf or taunting a dead 14-year-old on purpose. And he posted the Playboi Carti song, Stop Breathing. That's a classic Playboi Carti song where he's talking about all the gang wars and murders that have secretly been going on that, you know what I'm saying? People don't realize that Playboi Carti really blood, really five, like that. But to be playing the song Stop Breathing in the background, and he said, I've got the people going crazy watching all my moves. It's a little bit suspect. People are saying he's as insufferable as that imbecile David, okay? People saying that there's all weird little things that Neo's posted, posts and unposts, unsent projects. People are saying there was plenty that was pretty sus, but this is my smoking gun, posted in September the 22nd, 2025. It says, "Hey buddy, it's me. I'm sorry for everything. I hope you and everyone can forgive me before my time is up. The Sent Unsent Project to Neo." I don't really know what that means, right? But they're saying, did David mention the Unsent Project at some point? I don't understand why people keep posting these. It seems like such a reach. If he had some kind of project called the Sent Unsent Project, is the Unsent Project even a thing? How many people knew about this before? Apparently it's been around for years, but I doubt if any of it's real. People are saying you're so dumb it hurts my brain. What's the Unsent Project? It lets you send an anonymous letter to a singular name. Perfect website for confessions. I'm assuming David allegedly wrote this for Neo. They're saying that this is the same day that he moved his properties over to entrust with his mother. Now look. All right. This is bad. This looks terrible. I don't know if Neo and David were in a relationship. I feel like there's a couple of things that make me think that that could be true in my opinion. But it's not confirmed. But I feel like he definitely knows something. Steve Fisher is pointing the finger, inferring that Neo is the person who moved the car. And Neo's posts on social media have been extremely insensitive. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know if you think that he had something to do with this. Let me know if you think he had nothing to do with this. Maybe he just got caught up. Maybe he's just a young, dumb kid with very little empathy, and he doesn't really care about this situation. He's just going to keep on partying in LA. You guys let me know. I know what I think personally, but I want to hear what you guys think, man. I'm going to keep looking into this. I've got even more things that I might do a whole video on Asia, because there's some crazy stuff about her that I've not even got to in a video yet. But this is just insane. Okay, this thing with the freezer. I really wouldn't be surprised if somebody is arrested very soon. I wouldn't be surprised if numerous people are arrested soon. But I'll update you when that happens. In the meantime, stay vigilant, people. Thanks for watching.
Oh my gosh. I'll be right back. That David shit. I'm going to get just some cereal, I think. Because I am hungry. I'll be right back.
You choose her or not choose wrong. With a skipper hop. She's one cool, calm, DK. Donkey Kong. He has no style. He has no grace. This Kong has a funny face. He can handstand when he needs to and stretch his arms out just for you. Inflate himself just like a balloon. This crazy Kong just digs his tune. DK. Donkey Kong. DK. Donkey Kong. DK. Donkey Kong is here. He's back again and about time too. And this time, he's in the mood. He can fly real high with his jetpack on. With his pistols out. He's one tough Kong. He'll make you smile when he plays his tune. But gremlins beware, cause he's after you. DK. Donkey Kong. Finally, he's here for you. It's the last member of the DK crew. This Kong's so strong, it isn't funny. Can make a gremlin cry out for mommy. Can pick up a boulder with relative ease. Makes crushing rocks seem such a breeze. He may move slow, he can't jump high, but this Kong's one hell of a guy.
Come on, Cranky, take it to the fridge.
Walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells.
I'm back.
Well, on that same topic, let's talk about Doug Walker, who has also been prolific. There's been a few Doug Walker things that have happened. Obviously, he continues to do, what do you call it, Nostalgia-ween, just his same old nostalgia critics, but they're fun. They're kind of fun. Certainly atmospheric and all that good stuff. He did a commercials video recently, or, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago or something. It was hilarious. It was very funny. The commercials he was finding were so ridiculous. Did you see that one? There was one where a Scandinavian anti-racism ad. It's a little girl lost her balloon. It's stuck somewhere. And this tall black dude goes to get it. And then her mother recoils and runs away, and he's sad. And then he kind of waltzes back into his kind of lonely apartment, and he lays down on a bed, and he turns into toothpaste and is suddenly on a toothbrush. And then I think it's a toothpaste commercial, and it's also anti-racism. It was really funny.
I gotta see that.
He uploads those 10-hour nostalgic commercial compilations. They're all great.
I used to love them back in the day. I thought those were some of his best
Dude,
work.
they're still going. You don't need to be nostalgic for it. It's still happening. But actually, that's a good segue. They uploaded a video to their channel. I think it was called The New Nostalgia Critic Movie.
It's called Recovered Lost Footage.
I'm looking at a video that was uploaded 13 days ago called The New Channel Awesome Movie. And there's a thumbnail that says, "Click me." And you can see Tamara, one of his longtime actor, part of his little comedy troupe, and him with a helmet on.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, the video is titled...
okay, we have A/B testing. We have A/B testing.
Test and compare. From here, you can upload up to 3 images to learn.
Okay. Not as interesting as I thought.
Hey guys, welcome back to Parapsych TV. I'm Max Powers, and today we're going to be talking about Area 51, the highly classified United States Air Force facility within the Nevada Test and Training Range, including stories, some historical data, and some classic, very strange YouTube videos. Now, I personally reached out to the Air Force to see if I could visit Area 51 for the purposes of researching this video, but they said no. Anyways, according to Wikipedia, the intense secrecy surrounding the base has made it the frequent subject of conspiracy theories and a central component in UFO folklore. It has never been declared a secret base, but all research and occurrences in Area 51 are top secret / sensitive compartmented information. The CIA publicly acknowledged the base's existence on June 25, 2013, following a Freedom of Information Act request filed in 2005. Area 51 is located in the southern portion of Nevada, 83 miles northwest of Las Vegas. Just to get it out of the way, Area 51 is very real. It's probably the most classified top secret military base the public actually knows about, and the public was never supposed to know about it. Bob Lazar broke the story in the 80s, and we do know that the site was used to develop classified high-tech spy planes like the U-2, the SR-71 Blackbird, and the Bird of Prey. With all that being said, let's enter Area 51. Buckle up, because we're getting weird. But before the intro hits, I just want to ask you to like the video and hit... On September 11th, 1997, on the hugely popular paranormal talk show Coast to Coast AM, host Art Bell held an open-line segment specifically asking to receive calls from Area 51 employees. Little did he know, he was about to receive perhaps the most infamous call in the entirety of his show's history.
On my Area 51 line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna. They'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharged.
As you can hear, the audio begins to cut out as Art was asking something about the caller's medical discharge, and seconds later, something incredible happens. Nationwide, the signal to the radio show vanished, as audiences heard dead air or backup local programs kicking in on their radios. Art Bell and crew presumably rushed behind the scenes to figure out what happened to the signal, before returning moments later with some ominous news. Halfway through the frantic call, the studio suffered a catastrophic satellite signal failure, a rare occurrence that the show had never experienced before. The signal loss seeming even more sinister after the caller mentioned that they would be triangulating his call any minute.
Well, this was certainly interesting. We are now on a backup system, everybody. backup system. And that one caller that I had on the air, I guess we were about in the middle of his transmission, his telephone call, which was one of the strangest ones I've ever had. And the entire transmitting system by satellite went down here, and we were notified we were off the air. And it would appear to be from this end and some sort of massive transmit failure. So we are now using a backup system to be on the air. And not that I would normally believe this kind of thing, mind you, but I can't help but wonder if somebody zapped us in some way. We'll find out. Oh, well, what happened is the transmitter here blew its cookies. In some way, something knocked us off the air, and we're on a backup system now. And how far into the conversation was it when it went off?
Just a couple, about 15, 20 seconds, I'd say.
Oh, you guys missed. You really missed a call then, and I've got a feeling somebody didn't want you to hear it.
Yeah.
According to Art Bell himself, something knocked the signal off the air, and he felt as though someone didn't want anyone hearing what the caller had to say, whether it was a prank call or not. To analyze a couple things about the call. As for the general tone of the caller's voice, many people say they can hear the genuine fear, panic, and desperation in the caller's voice, but many also say he sounds like he could be acting. I have to add, if he is acting, he's not bad, and must have at the very least written some dialogue to go over, as he does make some distinct points and doesn't contradict himself in the short time he was on air. I find it fascinating that he mentioned that what the public considers to be aliens are actually interdimensional beings who are purposely misrepresenting themselves. This is interesting to me because nowadays that's a pretty common belief, as the idea of any being flying in a ship for millions of light years has become slightly antiquated due to the almost unimaginable spans of time it would take crafts to travel those distances. But at the time, in the 90s, that wasn't really in the zeitgeist as much as it is now. The caller claimed that massive worldwide catastrophe was coming, that the government not only knows about these catastrophes, but are choosing not to move people to viable safe areas on Earth because they want a massive percentage of the population to be wiped out, so that the remainder would be easier to control. This ties into a now very well-known theory found in a semi-censored book called The Adam and Eve Story by Chan Thomas. The book, which was part of a recently declassified CIA file, details what will happen when the Earth's poles suddenly flip, causing 1,000-mile-per-hour winds and 1,000-foot-tall walls of water and mud, basically wiping civilization as we know it off the face of the Earth. Magnetic pole shifts do happen, but we are told they happen observably slow over thousands of years, which would be better for you and I, and a more convenient life for a secret government that was set on surviving the apocalypse. Also interesting to think about the fact that the caller made these claims about massive catastrophes exactly 4 years before 9/11. The caller also made the claim that contact had been made with the beings by an earlier precursor to the space agencies, but more on that later. So, we have a frantic, desperate-sounding man claiming to be a recently laid-off employee of Area 51, who mentions he's on the run and that some group is after him, triangulating his signal, and then the radio station he's communicating with live gets knocked off the air for several minutes, only coming back on once they secured a backup broadcast signal. If the powers that be have the ability to accomplish this, which they most certainly do, how far would they go to cover it up, and what could they have done to the frantic caller? Well, nearly a year later, on April 28, 1998, the Area 51 employee allegedly called back.
All right. Everybody, I am the Area 51 caller. That's my statement, and let you or whatever tear it apart.
You claim you're the Area 51?
I am the man.
How do you account for the fact, Area 51 caller,
okay,
that part of the way through your spiel, the satellite went down?
I have no idea, and it scared the heebie-jeebies out of me that night. I've called a number of times on your specialty line nights doing different, kind of wacky characters, and that's all that one was supposed to be. And if the call had been completed, it would have been ancient history by now.
Has it occurred to you, as Barbara Marx Hubbard suggested tonight, that perhaps, if you're really what you say you are, you created the reality of the rest of the situation and took down my satellite?
That scares the heebie-jeebies out of me, because it means that what I was saying was somehow correct, and it was fabrication kind of
creating a reality.
Yeah, if that was the case, I humbly apologize to you because I love your show, and the last thing I would ever want to do is
Knock me off the air.
So what can I do to prove my claim here?
You could give us a little of what you gave us then so that we could hear it and know it to be you.
Are you sure you want me to do that, Art?
I'm positive.
Don't, Art, please. I don't want you to ask me to do this. If I start doing that guy,
You're right about that. Now, let's just take that little sample that you just gave us so that we don't alter some sort of hard little reality here at the end of the program, and we'll let the callers be the judge.
Okay.
All right?
Is this the Area 51 caller? The voices sound extremely similar, but couldn't any talented voice actor pull this off with almost a year of prep time? If not for the station being abruptly knocked off the air, by Art Bell's own admission, most likely by some kind of government intervention, I would 100% believe this was a hoax or a prank call. But even if it was a hoax, the station was knocked off the air, which Brian even admits badly scared him, making him think he had unwittingly uttered some hidden truths in his call.
I know a place that's peaceful and quiet, a place where animals play. It's called... Be extra careful, okay?
Where does this idea come from that Area 51 has something to do with aliens or alien tech? The idea seemed to surface when documents about a program called Project Aquarius leaked. The documents were allegedly prepared for a group called MJ-12 and detailed a program starting in 1972 to back engineer and pilot recovered alien crafts out of Area 51. The NSA confirmed that Project Aquarius existed, but denied it had anything to do with aliens, and denied to comment on what the project's goals were. And more recently, the whole MJ-12 thing was connected to a larger disinformation campaign along with the Roswell crash. In 1984, the US Air Force illegally seized almost 90,000 acres around Groom Lake in Nevada. Congressional hearings were held where one congressman, John Seiberling, grilled military officials about what legal authority the military had to seize the land. An Air Force official responded that the authority was much, much higher than the Air Force or government. Seiberling inquired what authority could supersede the United States government. The official said he could say, but only in an approved closed briefing, aka not on camera, not in court, and good luck getting in that briefing. And to further that point, although this is more conspiracy theorist lore at this point and has very little evidence to back it, apparently both Presidents Eisenhower and Nixon very aggressively pursued information about the activities taking place within Area 51, with Eisenhower's inquiries eventually leading to a rift between him and the military-industrial complex, after he threatened to utilize the 1st Army of Colorado to invade the region, leading to his infamous speech warning the American people about being led astray by the shadowy organization.
We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
This information was gathered by Jeremy Corbell and Richard Dolan during a deathbed confession being made by a former Q-clearance CIA agent who went by the pseudonym Agent Cooper. Nixon's inquiries allegedly led to the former president making veiled threats towards the CIA and NSA. He was repeatedly denied any information, and one night, while inebriated, he received a report again denying his request. In a fit of rage, he called the director of the CIA into the Oval Office and demanded to know why the commander of all armed forces couldn't be told about US military assets being developed or tested at Area 51, regardless of their origins. The story goes that the CIA director told Nixon some things are best left alone, and he didn't have a need to know about anything happening at Area 51. Henry Kissinger, national security advisor for Nixon, was sleeping at the time of this exchange, but was woke by a phone call and told Nixon wanted him in the Oval Office ASAP. When Kissinger arrived, he found a very angry Nixon and an oddly disinterested CIA director in the Oval Office. The CIA director said he didn't understand why Kissinger was there, as it wouldn't change his mind. mind. Nixon, ignoring the CIA director's comment, asked Kissinger how the USSR would react if the USA would perform an above-ground test of the largest strategic nuclear weapon that the US had in their arsenal near the old atomic test sites in Nevada, say just over Groom Lake, in the next hour. Apparently, Nixon was given a partial briefing and a warning, which then deterred him from ever pursuing knowledge about Area 51 again. The military's activities at Groom Lake and in the 90,000 surrounding acres remained extremely secretive until 1989, when Bob Lazar began leaking information about his work at S4, a site within Area 51, including his claim that experiments were being done to try to reverse engineer 9 different recovered UFOs. But Bob Lazar's claims and story were well known and could fill its own video. If you'd like to hear my take on it, comment something about Bob Lazar down below, and if I get 100 or more comments about it, I'll make that video. Even with major worldwide media coverage of Bob Lazar's claims, the military still denied that Area 51 existed, denied Bob's story, and seemed to have gone quite out of their way to deperson him, allegedly deleting his school and work records from existence. As I was researching and writing for this video, in particular the bit about the 90,000 acre land grab, its ensuing congressional hearing, and the Air Force official's comment about an authority that supersedes the United States government struck me as one of those slip of the mask moments, a sign that the grand conspiracy, or whatever you may call it, of a secret government controlling things from behind the curtain, pulling strings, using the trillions and trillions of taxpayer dollars to do as they wish with it. According to Edward Snowden, all the way back in 2012, by his estimate, the yearly US black budget, or money allocated to secret military operations, was over $50 billion per year, which is nearly $140 million per day. You can bet if that was an accurate figure, it's a lot more than that today, at least triple, if not quadruple, as inflation and taxes rise and wealth is transferred upwards at a greater pace than man has ever seen. So, where is all that money going? The congressman can't get a straight answer about what gives the military the right to take 90,000 acres of land. If the presidents are ready to wage war on the site and are still somehow deterred, what hope do the people have of ever knowing what's going on? 8 years ago, on August 25th, 2014, a YouTube channel called Martian Archaeology uploaded a video exposing photos pulled from Google Earth seeming to show an obelisk, pyramid, and Eye of Horus or Eye of Ra being constructed at Area 51. Though not all of the satellite pictures show the coordinates, comparing them to publicly available pictures of the surface of one site in Area 51 does confirm the sites match up. The first images show a massive black obelisk. The obelisk belongs to the early Egyptian creation story and represent the pillar that lifts the Ben stone out of the primordial water. Obelisks were usually placed side by side at temple entrances to represent the portal between the physical and non-physical universe, and later in the religious concepts as the entrance between the body and soul. The earliest obelisks were known as Ben stones. They were rough-hewn and truncated, but they were tipped off by the pyramid shape, which distinguishes obelisks from other monumental columns. The spirit of the sun god was supposed to enter the stones at certain periods, and on those occasions, human sacrifices were offered to it. One user on Reddit said, "The tower is actually a high-fidelity radar array that can track hummingbird-sized objects," but he spelled array wrong, so I don't know. He also claimed, the pyramid-like structure is a special weapons bunker. It is an advanced Air Force base after all. The Eye of Horus is actually a maintenance building. The Eye of Horus and the Eye of Ra hold different meanings, but we constantly see the Eye of Providence, which is usually depicted like this, with a triangle surrounding it across all forms of media, money, and seems to be a very important symbol to those in control. When researching why one of the most secretive military locations in the world would be using this symbolism, I came across an interesting theory. The theory was about that precursor to the space agency that the frantic caller had been talking about. A few Redditors were tossing around the idea that this precursor was a mixture of occultism and hard science between Aleister Crowley and one of his very talented and committed proteges, Jet Propulsion Labs founder and the father of modern rocketry, Jack Parsons. Aleister Crowley was an English occultist philosopher, ceremonial magician, poet, painter, novelist, and mountaineer. He founded the religion of Thelema, identifying himself as the prophet entrusted with guiding humanity into the Aeon of Horus. In the early 20th century, he developed occult philosophies and practiced sex magic. Infamously, he and his followers referred to him as the Beast 666. The British tabloids called him the wickedest man in the world. In Egypt, on a trip around the world, he and his wife Rose took mind-altering drugs such as ether, and she told him the god Horus wanted to talk to him. He subsequently dictated what became the Book of the Law, the founding text of his Church of Thelema, which he believed was communicated through him by a superhuman being. In 1912, Crowley met the leader of the Ordo Templi Orientis, Order of the Temple of the East, or OTO, and soon controlled it. He started an abbey in Sicily, where his followers put his teachings into practice. Crowley became infamous during this time, as multiple people passed away on the grounds, and his wife told tabloids they were drinking blood. In January 1939, Jack Parsons, famed rocketry engineer and founder of both Jet Propulsion's laboratory and the Aerojet Engineering Corporation, was first introduced to OTO. Parsons would often jump ahead and perform rituals higher than his grade, quickly becoming Crowley's favored protege, and was believed by Crowley to have a real, natural gift for occult magic. The story goes that during Crowley's 1918 ritual, which he called Amalantra Working, in Central Park West, New York City, Crowley opened a portal between our dimension and another dimension with the intent to invoke certain intelligences into physical manifestation. One such entity that crossed over through this portal called itself Lam, which Crowley believed to be of interdimensional origin. Crowley described Lam in his book, The Way. Lam is the Tibetan word for way or path, and Lama is he who goeth, the specific title of the gods of Egypt, the treader of the path. In Buddhistic phraseology, its numerical value is 71, the number of this book. Interestingly, Crowley illustrated the being as looking frighteningly close to our modern depiction of the Greys that are described by many as being demonic in origin. It could be that our idea of extraterrestrials and demonic entities could all be some ancient interdimensional beings. Maybe it's not such a coincidence that the Lam entity was co-opted and fictionalized into Lovecraftian lore as the avatar of Nyarlathotep. Years later, between 1945 and 1946, Jack Parsons performed ritual after ritual for months during his own effort to conjure an interdimensional being, a practice which he referred to as Babylon working, using his own blood and other bodily fluids in order to then birth what he called a moon child. He chanted in the Enochian tongue, developed by 16th century alchemist John Dee, and drew pentagrams in the air. A few years before his death, Parsons had written to Crowley, "Babylon is incarnate on the earth today, awaiting the proper hour of her manifestation. And in that day, my work will be accomplished, and I will then be blown away upon the breath of the fire." On June 17th, 1952, Parsons' laboratory exploded, ending his life. Theorists claim that it was Parsons' rituals in 1948 who widened the tear in between dimensions, originally made by Crowley in 1918. It was soon after this that people worldwide began seeing Greys, and when the UFO phenomenon really took hold. It's interesting that Crowley and Parsons saw these entities as interdimensional, and that's also how the Area 51 caller described them. For the most part, people seem to think that Area 51 is just a pop culture iconic location, the reality of its secrecy diminished by movies and meme culture, like the Storm Area 51 movement. But every once in a while, something happens that reminds people that it's still very secretive and very serious about keeping those secrets. On November 15th, 2022, federal agents raided the homes of Jorg Arnu, a Nevada man who operates a website focusing on the remote, formerly top-secret U.S. military base, Area 51. During the raid, which was conducted by dozens of agents in tactical gear, armed with rifles, Arnu was told only that the search was related to images posted on his Area 51 site. Lieutenant Colonel Brian McGarry, Public Affairs Chief at Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas, said he was aware that Arnu's properties had been searched by FBI and Air Force Office of Special Investigation agents, but neither the FBI press official nor the Air Force OSI responded to press inquiries about the validity of the raid. Arnu said that since 1999, he has owned and operated his internet site, subtitled Secrets of Area 51 Revealed, describing the site as a collection of YouTube videos taken even from drones flown around Area 51, satellite images of the base, a discussion forum, and articles about UFOs, test flights, and mysterious black projects. Agents confiscated laptops, phones, backup drives, camera gear, and my drone, and caused thousands of dollars worth of damage to my homes. He continued, I believe the search, executed with completely unnecessary force by overzealous government agents, was meant as a message to silence the Area 51 research community. I feel for Jorg losing all of his electronics and the terror and violating feeling of having mysterious federal agents crash into your house, but if you build your career around trying to film a highly classified military installation, this is going to happen eventually, right? The most interesting thing about this story, in my opinion, is that Jorg seems genuinely uncertain just what images, videos, or information he gathered may be responsible for the raid, meaning he may have captured something on video without even knowing about it. One of the strangest things I've ever seen regarding Area 51 is a classic YouTube clip. It seems to be shot around 2007. I couldn't find the original poster anywhere, only a repost from 2016 on the channel Whatever Whenever. The video documents a few friends on their journey through the Nevada desert, making their way to the gate of Area 51. This gate isn't really a gate at all, just a restricted area sign that lets any would-be trespassers know they could be unalived for crossing into this area. Along their journey, they come across two elderly women flagging their car down about 6 miles into the middle of nowhere. The following interaction is bizarre.
How you doing?
You guys need help? Lost.
You lost?
Where are you all going?
Just going straight down this way.
Straight down there. And what's up that way?
Sure. We don't know.
Because we've been around looking for the gate. Go that way and you'll get right to the highway.
Wait, what gate?
The gate that lets you in. To what? The gate by the security gate. That way then?
Yeah.
I'm not going back. It's too far.
Yeah, it's 13 miles.
Yeah, from here it's 7 miles. Because we're staying over at Rachel. Right.
Rachel is that way.
From. Yeah. So go back to go straight back down this way. You'll hit 375. Make a left to Rachel. Okay.
Yeah.
Sharp left. You guys really got lost? Yeah. Well, we've been up and down. Really? We got a map too. No, go straight back this way. It'll run into the highway. Make a left on the highway. Yeah. That'll run you right into Rachel. Okay, we were looking for the gate to get in, but they said we're going to take pictures.
That's straight ahead. That's where we're going. You mean the Area 51
yeah,
gate?
Right.
It's this way, 7 miles.
Is that all?
You want to follow us?
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to be spook. Hey, listen, when I slow, you're not going to be able to see me because I'm going to put out a dust plume.
We'll follow the dust bunny.
No, you need to get way back.
Yeah. Okay, well, but we're what, 7 miles?
7 miles.
Yeah, and don't go past my car or else they're going to come get you.
They'll get you. Put you in that jail.
Did you film that?
The women claim they are lost before immediately asking the men where they're going and saying they're looking for the gate that lets you in. And just a few seconds later saying they're staying in Rachel. The guys filming, probably assuming it's not the best idea for these two ladies to be driving on their own out in the desert, give them simple, exact directions to get back to where they're staying. But the women seem disinterested in those directions. I find the interaction to be so strange. It feels more like the woman grasping the window is trying to figure out what the guys in the car are doing out there. And almost immediately, as they pull away from the women's car, they see one of the infamous white trucks that guard the area.
Fast. Stupid. Oh my God. They're going right through.
They're going through.
Did they pass it? No, from their side. Stop.
No, I don't think they did. They did not. They did. They went through.
They did.
They just went through. They just went through the gate, guys.
Oh my God. Oh
Oh my god.
They are so screwed. I'm turning around and getting out.
Truck's coming after him.
Is the truck coming?
There he is. Stop.
Stop. You gotta get this. We're gonna miss some alright footage. Those guys, listen, these guys just went through the Area 51 sign.
We're turning around right here. I'm not messing with this. You guys take your shots and we're leaving. We're gonna let them deal with them. Those ladies are screwed. Take your pictures. Hop on, please. Stop. They didn't stop. They're still going.
They're still going. That guy is speeding fast.
Okay.
Holy. Holy. They went fast.
Look at all the dust coming out.
Holy crap.
I didn't be able to get gunshots.
Everyone be quiet.
Interestingly, before the women get back in their car, the driver tells them to be careful while following him, as his car would be impossible to see because of the dust cloud, and a collision would be very probable if they didn't follow from a distance. But just as the men start to get close to the trespassing sign, the women tear past them on the narrow desert road and drive straight into the restricted zone, soon after being followed by the guard truck. The men then sit further back from the restricted zone for a while, and the women never come back out. Now there's obvious theories like it being a hoax or a stunt for the video, but I don't know very many elderly ladies willing to risk their lives for a stunt. If it was a scripted hoax, the creators would need at least 4 to 6 actors, 3 cars, and film in the middle of nowhere with an absolutely terrible digital camera. It could be a hoax with hopes of getting a lot of attention for a spooky video, but they would need at least 4 to 6 actors, 3 cars, and be able to film in a hostile desert location, which you could do with a budget, but I don't think they would use a terrible digital camera if that were the case. Then there's the theory that the women became frustrated and drove past the men, not realizing they drove directly past the sign they were looking for. But the most interesting and creepy theory is that these women were some kind of agents or guards, trying to suss out what the boys in the car were doing and how sophisticated their camera equipment may be. As far as I can tell, the footage, although completely grainy and terrible quality, is genuine. So what do you think is really going on at Area 51? Many people claim that even if there used to be some big secret hidden out there, it's long gone by now due to the public knowledge about the base. But I think that's a bit of a stretch, as the base is still completely off limits to the public and most of the government, and is still heavily secured and protected. In my opinion, what we see on the surface land of Groom Lake probably accounts for like 10 or 15% of the actual facility, with much of it probably being deep underground. So do you believe they're jealously guarding some kind of alien being or alien tech? Or just protecting the development of new man-made weapons of war? Thank you so much for watching the video. Please hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and hit the bell notification, as the early performance of a video is massively important. Please smash the like button if you liked the video, or you can hit the dislike button if you didn't like it, but please hit the like button. I prefer you hit the like button. Once again, comment down below what you think about Area 51, and feel free to comment any topics you'd like to see covered on the channel. I'll be back again very soon with a new video covering the topic of
Star Wars only. I don't know what the fuck your problem is.
Well, here we are again. Ray Park, almost 5 years after doing this initially, is breaking the internet again. Then, not really. This time he's just having a drunk-infused rant on Instagram. This has now been up for almost 2 days. He has not taken it down, kind of like previously, if you don't recall, this timeline of events. Back in 2019, he started posting some odd stuff on Instagram, like with his family in the background or something. He's like, hey, look, everything's okay. We're all good over here or something. It was just kind of odd. Quickly got taken down. There'd been another thing that happened that kind of got, taken care of. And then in like 2020, I want to say, randomly, out of nowhere, I'm scrolling through Instagram, and like many others who were following him, just see this video of his lightsaber getting polished. And it was kind of insane. And he started making accusations against another Star Wars actor. And what was really crazy about all of this is that in the beginning of 2020, he was basically having this deal with Lucasfilm to reprise his role as Darth Maul in a live action Crimson Dawn series. And it was going to go through. And one of the things they had to deal with him about was, you got to keep cordial, stay professional, stay sober, basically, because he was having some issues. And then come like, I want to say it was around this time of year, or maybe like late in the year of 2020, he started posting all this crazy stuff. And ever since then, he has never been to a Star Wars celebration. A lot of the conventions he goes to are not like Lucasfilm or Disney conventions. You're just never going to see this guy at a Star Wars celebration again. Now, fast forward to modern day, just a couple days ago, he started drunkenly posting again on his Instagram. And what's wild is that these are still up as of this recording. And he, let's just watch.
So the cops just came here about 45 to an hour ago. Some in Pasadena. I know who it is. I love Burbank PD. We even said, I don't know why we were called, because it's a different jurisdiction, yeah? One of my best friends is part of LAPD, so how's your life? How's your life? Be careful. Look over. I see you.
All right, and then this audio is wild. Let me play this one for you as well.
On my 23rd birthday, I was on Phantom, episode 1, right? There's a bunch of us at Bagley's, you and your sister, right? You were like this square. I'm a square too. You know what 2 squares mean when they get upside down together? 33. So, your sister, you allowed your sister, Michelle, to come back to my flat with Lee Khan. I fucked your sister, Lisa. She was doing blow, right? I was 22, turned 23 on Phantom. She got the large one. You know what I mean? So fuck off.
So Lisa is his wife, and he's like openly admitting to sleeping with her sister, doing this during the filming of The Phantom Menace, high as a kite, and just doing all the wrong things. Like, he's openly admitting to doing a lot of this stuff, and the woman's name he's mentioning is his wife, who was the woman in the video from so many years ago. So this has been a constant struggle for his family, his wife, his kids, and it's very sad. It's extremely sad. This is a cry for help. This guy needs help. And what blows my mind, looking back, is that how many people were denying that this was happening. I mean, go look at the comment section in my video covering this, where I even had exclusive information about what was going on behind the scenes that I think I talked a little bit about in that video. And everybody was like, no, you're lying. This is fake. His wife denied this, said he was hacked and everything like that. And the levels of denial were kind of insane. Well, now it's been up on his Instagram for a couple days. I've shown, I mean, how much more proof do you want that Ray Park is unwell? And this is not me trying to gloat or, slander this guy and shit on him or anything, because I'll tell you what, Ray Park has been a very positive influence on the fandom for almost 20 years. He was one of the guys at the first Star Wars celebration and made that feel like an event. He has been at almost every Star Wars celebration before the events of 2020. And honestly, I mean, I remember growing up as a kid seeing him at the Disney World Star Wars weekends that they used to do. And he was just such a positive person to see and be around. He was a martial artist. I had that in relation to him because I'd always done martial arts since I was a kid, so I kind of looked up to him in that aspect. He embraced the fandom, was an active member of the fandom, and truly is obviously a good-hearted person. But he has his demons. And what's sad about this is that it's been 5 years, and this is still happening to the poor guy. And he needs help. And I don't know what we could do as a community to help someone like him. And I think what's odd is that because of what he has done and because of how bad some of these things are, reflecting on him as a person kind of thing, it's like he's been shunned almost. You know, he's not involved with anything officially with Lucasfilm. And I'm not blaming Lucasfilm for any of this stuff, but it's like, could you have, as a company, have been able to send him to maybe rehab or something, or get him therapy or anything to help this guy out, because he needs help. He obviously needs some help, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see anyone in this kind of situation, but especially someone who has been such an active member of this community and this fandom in such a positive way. I mean, he would stay hours after the conventions in line with people just to make sure every single fan could talk to him. You know, he wouldn't do what some of the other actors do and just rush them along. He would actually sit there and have a conversation with you. He would sign autographs. He would go out and interact with fans on the floor. You know, he was an extremely positive influence for Star Wars. And it's just a damn shame to see what's happened. And of course, you know, thoughts and prayers to him and his family. And I don't really know what we can do as a community. And selfishly, as a community, this stuff has impacted us. We were going to get him back as a live action Darth Maul, and a lot of fans would have loved that. That would have been a great moment for a lot of Star Wars fans. And we will never get that. We're getting it in animation now, you know? So I don't know. This is a very tough and sad situation for someone who, it's not like he was just a side actor. It's not like he wasn't important or anything like that. It's like, no, this guy played an iconic Star Wars villain, Darth Maul. Darth Maul is very well known in the pop culture. He brought him to life physically and then engaged with the community for 20 odd years after. It's a beautiful thing, you know? And to see what's happened to him now, and now that he's no longer going to be involved with Star Wars in almost any capacity going forward, even the little comic conventions and autograph signings that he had planned for this month and the next couple months have all been canceled. And so it's just, it's really sad. You know, people say, oh, thoughts and prayers and everything. And, you know, if you believe in that, you know, I say a prayer for Ray Park and his family tonight, and good luck to all of them, because this is such a hard thing to see anybody go through, but especially a father, a husband, and a positive influence on the community who, like he was stating, has been struggling with this since he was 22 years old. Back in 1997, they were filming The Phantom Menace, and he was doing these bad things. I mean, that's what they are. These are bad things that this guy is doing. Doesn't make him an entirely bad person, because we have seen the good in him, you know, for so long, and that's what he's put out there. But unfortunately, that's what happens with a lot of social media stuff in these kind of situations, where you get so drunk one night, you reveal your, you know, family issues and that you were sleeping with your wife's sister, you know, back in the 90s. I mean, that's just not something we're supposed to be doing, you know? So, whew, what a Debbie Downer of a situation and of a video. I'm sorry to, you know, once again cover this, but it has definitely been a cycle of events that has impacted the Star Wars community in not the best way in the slightest. But tell me your thoughts in the comments section below. If you pray for Ray Park. If you don't, we'll always say, may the force be with you, Ray Park, because you need it, brother. You need it. And if you guys are going through anything, reach out to somebody. You don't have to be lonely here at Star Wars Only. We're here for you guys, all right? So good night and good luck, my friends, and may the force be with you always.
Hey, we got some new spooky season merch over at eyepatchwolves.com. The Shining is one of my favorite films of all time. In fact, gun to my head, depending on the day, it might be my favorite film ever. It's like a toss-up between that and like two others. But I think out of all the films in existence, it is the one that showed me what absolute, like, true fear is. And I always remember, I've told this story in videos before, but when I was a little one, and I was at a friend's sleepover and we were watching Twister, there's a moment in that film where on the cinema screen in Twister, before like a tornado like rips it apart, you can see the hallway scene from The Shining, the two twins little girl scene from The Shining, and it scared me so fucking badly that my parents had to take me home. Just that one shot, and my friend being like, oh yeah, that's The Shining, my mom told me about that movie. That started a lifelong fascination with it, and I love it so dearly, and it is, like, you know, rightfully celebrated as one of the greatest horror films of all time, and like, it really, really is. I feel like a good way to kind of like categorize like how iconic a horror film is looking at how many like utterly fucking culture destroying moments of terror it has. Like, how many iconic moments of fear does a film have? So say you take something like Scream. I think arguably Scream has two really terrifying moments that still get talked about today. You have like the opening scene at the start, and then you have the reveal of the killer. The Shining has like at least 5. Like, it has room 237, it has the blood elevator, it has the twins, it has the hedge maze, it has the typewriter. Like, the amount those 5 moments have been like parodied and repeated over the years, and they all come from the same fucking movie. And it's kind of a fucking masterpiece, like as close to a masterpiece as horror has. But what's interesting is that it wasn't always received that way. When The Shining came out first, people did not like it at all. Like, and when I've been going through like the old reviews and stuff, and the basic gist is people just had no fucking idea what to make of it. They couldn't like understand it. Horror films were things that were usually like very fast paced. There was a lot of like quick edits and quick cuts, and like there was a kind of semi-action scene where, you know, the killer would come after the protagonist with a knife or whatever. And so much of The Shining was slow. So much of it was just haunting and just these characters existing in these big empty spaces. It's really crazy to go back and see how people just didn't know what to make of that. Like, listen to some of the old reviews here. The supernatural story knows frustratingly little rhyme or reason. Even the film's most startling, horrific images seem overbearing and perhaps even irrelevant. Okay, that's one review. Here's another one. With everything to work with, Kubrick has teamed with Jumpy Jack Nicholson to destroy all that was
Jumpy Jack Nicholson,
Stephen King's bestseller. This is okay. Siskel of Siskel and Ebert says, a crashing disappointment. The biggest surprise is that it contains virtually no thrills. Imagine looking at the fucking blood elevator scene and just being like, yep. It's mind-blowing. Given Kubrick's world-class reputation, one's immediate reaction is that maybe he was after something other than thrills in this film. If so, it's hard to figure out what. So yeah, it's fucking crazy. It is so crazy to see people react that way to what is like now a nearly universally beloved horror film. But the biggest critic of all was Stephen King, the writer of the Shining book. And I just want to say here, like, I love Stephen King. I am a huge Stephen King fan. I think arguably, to this day, you would struggle to find a single individual who has affected horror more than Stephen King. And I love his short stories, I love his books. Some of them are garbage, some of them are fucking awesome, but I love Stephen King. He did not love The Shining. I dug out some Stephen King quotes here. I think The Shining is a beautiful film and it looks terrific. And as I've said before, it's like a big, beautiful Cadillac with no engine inside it. In that sense, when it opened, a lot of reviews weren't very favorable, and I was one of those reviews. I kept my mouth shut at the time, but I didn't care for it much. And like, he has talked at length about this stuff. The character of Jack Torrance has no arc in that movie, absolutely no arc at all. When we first see Jack Torrance, he's in the office of Mr. Ullman, the manager of the hotel, and you know then he's crazy as a shithouse rat. All he does is get crazier. In the book, he's a guy who's struggling with his sanity and finally loses it. To me, that's a tragedy. In the movie, there's no tragedy because there's no real change. So the quote that I read, and this, I have never been able to source this quote, and I would love to. It's something it was on the Shining's IMDb page, and it's credited Stephen King. Don't know where it came from. Don't even know if it's real, but it sounds real to me. And it is, he said that The Shining was a film made to hurt people. So basically it had no heart. It was just this cynical, cold nightmare of a film. And he's right, but he's wrong about how valuable that is. But anyway, look, you know, someone can dislike The Shining. It's possible. It's not a big deal. And I could understand someone being in love with The Shining novel could have problems with it. The only problem is that Stephen King himself decided that he was going to remake The Shining in 1997 and created a 3-part television series. And this was called Stephen King's The Shining. I really got to admire the balls of being willing to remake one of the most beloved films at all time, because like by the late 90s The Shining was beloved. Like, it had got its flowers at that point. And the result is one of the fucking silliest films of all time. So this is a film that follows the book much more closely. And like, just for the record, the book is terrifying. The book is absolutely horrifying and I love it. The best way I could describe this movie, it's imagine The Shining if it was a Hallmark holiday movie. That is what it feels like. This movie is so silly and goofy in so many ways, and so many parts that are like visceral and like terrifying about The Shining are just not in this movie. Like, the two main actors in it. So originally you had Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson, and Shelley Duvall famously like really suffered on the set of The Shining. It was an intense shoot. Kubrick is notoriously demanding and difficult to work with, and he was really hard on her. Now, he did get like an incredible performance out of her, but that doesn't necessarily justify the pain she went through on set. But she does give an absolutely phenomenal performance. I think it's impossible to look at Shelley Duvall's face in this movie and not empathize with the terror she is feeling in these scenes. And that is not the case with this other actor. The new actor is like fine. She is this incredibly like beautiful woman, just an absolute knockout, but not necessarily someone who I think is, you know, adept at conveying terror, at least on the level Shelley Duvall did. She's kind of just like her co-host. They're both just kind of hot. Whereas in the original Shining, it's like Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall, they spend a lot of that film looking fucking weird, but it like gives you no comfort. This is a movie without like any place you can rest. It's just a nightmare from the moment it starts. Beyond this, there's so many scenes in this movie where a normal scene happens and then it like ends by panning over to like a door, and then like a ghost closes the door, and it's like, well, maybe a ghost did it, and like it's so fucking silly. Incidentally, Shelley Duvall won a Golden Raspberry for her role in The Shining, which to this day is just the most fucking out of pocket shit I have ever heard in my life. But yeah, it is a very silly movie. One thing, there are some interesting things about this movie, though. Like, I think there are some salvageable things about it. If you like kind of garbagey horror, there is actually some stuff to like here. And part of it is the location. This movie was actually shot in the hotel that inspired Stephen King's The Shining. A place that I have actually been. I took a tour there with my friend Oni, and it was a absolutely delightful time. I actually got kind of shit-faced in the bar of The Shining. The elevation was real high. It's like up in the mountains, and I had like 2 of these absolutely delicious old fashions there, and it was like a room 237 old fashioned or something, and just didn't account for the fact that I was so high up would get me drunk much quicker. And I was really fucked up, and I was getting this tour from the guide, and at one point he kind of walks past me and he looks at me and he goes, "We having a good time there, sir?" And I was like, yes I am. And that was really funny. But that location is cool, and the way it's shot in this movie is like interesting. Like, I love the shots of the hallways, and like there are some parts of it where it kind of touches on like the isolation and the nightmare that these characters are in, you know. But when you compare it with those similar shots, like that, there's one shot from the original Shining, and it's Shelley Duvall. I think she's clutching a baseball bat, walking through the massive open like lounge area, and it's just fucking incredible. You don't get any of that. What you do get is a bunch of weird CGI. There's definitely like some shots in this where they thought it was the late 90s and CGI was scary. There is a ghost like fire hose that attacks Danny with like gnashing teeth, and it's so silly. There's a werewolf man who like jumps out at him, and he's literally like, "Oh, boogie boogie Danny, I'm gonna get you," and it's so fucking dumb. But I think the peak of it is in the original Shining. There's actually a few parts of The Shining that like don't appear in either version. There's like a spider baby who lives in the playground in the book. But one part that they don't touch on at all is that there's hedge animals, haunted hedge animals in The Shining, and they appear in this film, and they have some of the most garbage CGI you will ever see, and it is a fucking riot. It is so much fun. If you can't tell, I actually kind of love this miniseries. No, it's not anywhere close or good for any of the same reasons as the original Shining. In fact, like all those iconic horror moments I mentioned earlier, the blood elevator, the typewriter scene, the twins, the maze, like 4 out of 5 of the iconic like Shining moments are not in this movie. The only part it does keep is room 237, but it's very different in this version. In this version, you don't really see what happens when Jack goes into room 237. In this version, it's room 217. But you do see what happens when Danny goes in. Danny goes in, and he's the one who has the encounter with the bathtub lady. And look, here's what I'll say. I love making fun of this movie. I think this is an incredibly silly movie. The bathtub lady in this movie is fucking terrifying. She's still really scary. It's probably the only part of this entire miniseries that to me actually feels like a genuine, scary, nasty thing. But this part still really, really creeps me out. It's the makeup on the woman, it's the way the scene is shot, it's the acting of the woman herself. She is really awful, and it is actually the like lone piece of really effective horror in this movie. But yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about it just because I like to revisit this film every October along with the original Shining. If you want to hear me talk more about like the actual Shining and why it's like fucking the greatest horror film of all time, I have a video essay on it over on Super Eyepatch Wolf from way back in the day. We're also going to be talking about it on Versus Wolves this Friday. So yeah, check it out. Both films are absolutely worth experiencing. If I was to rate both on a scale, I would say the original Shining, on my 7-point scale, it gets a 7. It is just a film that completely changed my life for the better, and I love it. The 1997 Stephen King version, you know, I'm gonna give that a 4 because it's a stupid but very cozy horror movie that I really just love to soak in, and it's one of my favorite things to watch with Michelle. And yeah, those are my thoughts on those things. Goodbye.
Ooh. I kind of remember watching TV series when I was younger. There's some alright things about it. It's not completely always, especially if you're actually familiar with the Stephen King story, and you try not to compare it too much to the original, which it's almost impossible. but it's not that good either. So the cinematography from Stanley Kubrick's, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. But I do get why people think it's fucking boring. And I kind of agree with Stephen King that Jack has like no arc in the movie. It's just kind of crazy from the get-go. But I think that's also kind of a cool thing about it. I think it fits in with the like American Family. Sometimes like the dad is just like, it's about like dads just going nuts. And I think that's a good, some dads are just like that, I feel like. Just don't know who they are, and there's nothing to like about them. So I think it kind of fits. So I wouldn't say that it's completely a negative about the original Shining, that Jack has no arc. He's just kind of a villain from the get-go. But I think that's the point. Anyway. Oops. I'm gonna finish up here. Oh, I'm just gonna put on these little shadows, the shading, not too much. I'll work on this more later because I still want to draw, so we're giving Hajime a weapon. I'm gonna bio break real quick, and I think I'm gonna play a game. I might play Magic. I don't know. Maybe. Probably. We'll see. I'll BRB. I'm just gonna go take a bio break. I'm gonna go to Donkey Kong. I'll BRB.
You choose her or not choose wrong. With the skipper hot. She's one cool, calm, her DK. Donkey Kong. He has no style. He has no grace. This Kong has a funny face. He can handstand when he needs to and stretch his arms out just for you. Inflate himself just like a balloon. This crazy Kong just digs his tune. DK. Donkey Kong. DK. Donkey Kong. DK. Donkey Kong is here. He's back again and about time too. And this time, he's in the mood. He can fly real high with his jetpack on. With his pistols out. He's one tough Kong. He'll make you smile when he plays his tune. But gremlins beware, cause he's after you. DK. Donkey Kong. Finally, he's here for you. It's the last member of the DK crew. This Kong's so strong, it isn't funny. Can make a gremlin cry out for mommy. Can pick up a boulder with relative ease. Makes crushing rocks seem such a breeze. He may move slow, he can't jump high, but this Kong's one hell of a guy.
Come on, Cranky, take it to the bridge.
Walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. You choose her or not choose wrong. With a skipper hot. She's one cool, calm, her DK. Donkey Kong. He has no style. He has no grace. This Kong has a funny face. He can handstand when he needs to and stretch his arms out just for you. Inflate himself just like a balloon. This crazy Kong just digs his tune. Huh, DK. Donkey Kong. Huh, DK. Donkey Kong. DK. Donkey Kong is here. He's back again and about time too. And this time, he's in the mood. He can fly real high with his jetpack on. With his pistols out. He's one tough Kong. He'll make you smile when he plays his tune. But gremlins beware, cause he's after you. Huh, DK. Donkey Kong. Huh. Finally, he's here for you. It's the last member of the DK crew. This Kong's so strong, it isn't funny. Can make a gremlin cry out for mommy. Can pick up a boulder with relative ease. Makes crushing rocks seem such a breeze. He may move slow, he can't jump high, but this Kong's one hell of a guy. Huh.
Come on, Cranky, take it to the fridge.
Walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. You choose her or not choose wrong. With a skipper heart. She's one cool, calm, her DK. Donkey Kong. He has no style. He has no grace. This Kong has a funny face. He can handstand when he needs to and stretch his arms out just for you. Inflate himself just like a balloon. This crazy Kong just digs his tune. Huh, DK. Donkey Kong. Huh, DK. Donkey Kong. DK. Donkey Kong is here. He's back again and about time too. And this time, he's in the mood. He can fly real high with his jetpack on. With his pistols out. He's one tough Kong. He'll make you smile when he plays his tune. But gremlins beware, cause he's after you. Huh, DK. Donkey Kong. Huh. Finally, he's here for you. It's the last member of the DK crew. This Kong's so strong, it isn't funny. Can make a gremlin cry out for mommy. Can pick up a boulder with relative ease. Makes crushing rocks seem such a breeze. He may move slow, he can't jump high, but this Kong's one hell of a guy.
All right, I'm back. Give me 1 second. Avatar. Nice.
The sun will rise on a peaceful tomorrow. Trust yourself and you shall win.
God damn it.
We shall meet again one day. My timeless wisdom guides your hand. Open your mind to possibility.
It's all the game. I can't do shit about. The green. Damn. Wow, wow. Hey, hey! Hey, Goober dude. Hope you're having a good evening, good morning. Hmm. GG's. Goober dude. Goober dude, goober dude, goober dude. Yo, goober dude. Go, goober dude. Go. I just got your message, baby. It's sad to see you by the way. I just got your message, baby. It's sad to see you by the way. I just got your message, baby. It's sad to see you by the way. I just got your message, baby. It's sad to see you, baby. I just got your message, baby. It's sad to see you fade away. I just got your message, baby. It's sad to see you fade away. I just got your message, baby.
Let the storms ever rage.
Oh, baby. Tell me why. What the hell is that? Huh. Why isn't Gnome save? Higher than I ever have been. Yay. I'm actually feeling kind of tired. So I'm gonna get going. I got to go to work later, but I might try to get back on before then. Goober Dude, thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Sorry if I'm not talking much. I was just chilling and playing some games, but peace out. I'm gonna go. Later. Love you. Bye. Crazy lighting. It's kind of moody.